Welcome. We're about to do this list, top 26 players that are going to define the World Cup. I just made the video on reacting to first things first list. Now I'm going to make my own. I got a couple honorable mentions, as you can see. So let's just go. So I want to start off just by mentioning these guys: Odegaard, Neymar, Martinez, Musiala, Phil Foden, and Rafinha. So for some of these guys, it's a question of fitness. Rafinha's hurt right now. Neymar might not come to the World Cup. I think he should. Phil Foden, he might not play. We don't know. And honestly, for Foden, it could be any of England's wingers. They're just so stacked that it kind of doesn't matter who's going to be in. They'll have an impact, but we don't know who's going to play for them. Odegaard's also hurt, but hopefully he'll be back. Musiala's coming back. He played against Real Madrid Champions League, so he should be good. But we don't really know what his form's like right now. And Emi Martinez, I just wanted to include him. He he's got the mental game going on. The dude is a big troll, so just wanted to include him. Kept Argentina in the World Cup, obviously, several times last 2022. So you can't ignore this guy. Just these guys, kind of depending on fitness, depending on other factors. I think they're right outside their borderline, but just guys that I wanted to mention. But I think we could start off with Jeremy Doku. This guy's game is 1v1. Pace, dribbling. He's so quick. Look at that. Embarrasses him. I mean, he's really going to open up a lot of options for Belgium coming up. But I mean, he just skins dudes alive, right? Cut in, goal. He's a dangerous player. Number 25, Captain America, Christian Pulisic. I know I criticize how high he was in that list. I do think that's definitely a fair criticism, but look at that. I mean, he's a great attacker, and he plays with like a lot of fire and hunger and, drive to succeed and get in the box. I'm excited to see what he does for us. All right, number 24. This one might catch some hate. Florian Wirtz. So Wirtz is tough because he does not play well for Liverpool. Streets are saying that he's a bit of a waste of money for Liverpool, and I want to give him a little bit more time, but you can't really argue with what I'm about to show you, right? This was, everyone's talking about how bad he is for Liverpool, right? This was 2 weeks ago, or was it last week, right? Gets in the box, assist to Kai Havertz for the first goal. He's a little bit old school, but I like the way he plays. Kind of creates for a lot of people around him. All right, this is what I wanted to show you. Picks the ball up. He's like 30 feet from the goal. Slaps it far post, top corner. Good night. He has the talent to succeed, and I just don't think he's been showing it at Liverpool, but he can show it for Germany for sure, especially with Musiala back. Yeah, he's dangerous. All right, number 23. Kevin De Bruyne. Look, he's old as hell, but he can still ball out. He can really open the game up like that. I mean, it's so fast, right? That should be a goal right there, right? And his service is so good, right? It can be, even if no one touches it, it might be a goal. So if he can show out for Belgium, and their attackers can finish the chances that he sets up for them, they might be a team to look out for. Number 22, Achraf Hakimi. I liked where they put him in that first things first list in the original one. He was 19, I think. I like that. I put him a little bit lower, but I just watched him against Liverpool yesterday in the Champions League, and he was frying them. Absolutely frying them. He's so quick. He's so good on the ball. He can defend. He can attack. Look, wins the ball back. Gets it back, finishes. I mean, he's got the skills of a top winger, but he's also a defender. And the way that Morocco play, they don't like to kind of possess and lull you to sleep. They like to go when they have it. So ball from the midfielder in behind. He's got the pace, absolutely burns his man, and then plays it in. Great goal. So and Morocco can do it. They've got a shot. They always have a shot. So, number 21, Luka Modric, another dinosaur, but he's still class. He's got 20 years of experience at the national team level. Croatia always perform well, and he's playing well for AC Milan. And he ages like wine. He's just so good. Ballon d'Or winner 2019, I believe, or 2018, and always shows up in the World Cup. His ball progression just great. Skins a dude. He's 40 years old doing that to man. Oh, picks the ball up, wins it back, drives through. That's Kevin De Bruyne, who I just shouted out. Wins the ball off him, and they're in the attacking phase. So yeah, I think he could really have something to say for Croatia. They might take him off in a couple games, but he'll be there, and he'll be playing, and he'll be the captain. So, all right, number 20, Nuno Mendes, as they say. You just imagine Hakimi, but on the left, right? He's just as fast, but I think Nuno Mendes is a better defender. Every time they play Barcelona or Spain, he absolutely locks up Lamine Yamal, which is hard to do. That's one of the hardest jobs in football. So, he's up to it. He scored essentially the winner in the Nations League final in 2025 when Portugal beat Spain. So, that shows how essential he is to that squad. I'd be shocked if he doesn't, make something happen for them. All right, number 19, Casemiro, and I was absolutely baffled that they didn't include him, right? He's just so important to the. Look at the title of the video. Casemiro is more important than you think. That should be the story of his career. Won 3 Champions Leagues in a row with Real Madrid, 5 total. Might have been 6, honestly. He's still balling for Manchester United. It's crazy because he's old, but he's still physically pretty dominant, right? Winning balls off the guy, putting his body on the line for the team, which Brazil will need because they've got 3 great attackers, but they don't have much presence in the midfield if Bruno Guimaraes is hurt. So he's so important for the Brazilian squad, and there's no doubt he'll play. All right, 18, Luis Diaz, Lucho as they call him. Kind of the Colombian firecracker that they've needed for a while. He's got pace, he's got hunger, he's got fire. He's hard to defend 1v1. He's got a little bit of a better team than some of these other, top wingers. He's got unreal control of the ball, and then he can finish as well. Look at that. Look at the hunger he shows there. Winning the ball back as a winger, not everyone does that. Slaps it across. Just no chance. That's just pure power. You can't really do much about that. All right, number 17, Declan Rice. I'm pretty surprised they didn't include this guy. He's a great player. A little bit like Casemiro in the way that he shields that the back line. He's very rarely gonna lose it. Declan Rice can strike the ball well, and I think that's the biggest difference between them. It's almost, look, he doesn't play very progressively, very creatively, which I don't like, but he's still incredibly important to the England squad. And I think they're gonna go far. So, I have to include him here. Again, he doesn't play the most, dangerously or creatively, but he's still kind of he's a very constant force for both Arsenal and England. So I think for them to do well, he'll need to be on. All right, number 16, Federico Valverde. He's so essential to Real Madrid's success, and I think to Uruguay's success. Right? He's the most unselfish runner in the world. He plays any position that they ask him to. Look at that touch, bro. picks it out of the air, 60 yards, perfect touch. I think he gets to it in front of the goalkeeper, just touches it around him, finish, goal. This was against Manchester City, Champions League, highest stage you can for your club. I saw a clip a couple last year. It was against, I think it was against Inter or maybe Napoli. He hit the ball from 30 yards out. It went off a defender, off the goalkeeper, off the crossbar, back off the goalkeeper, and it still went in. That ball stays hit when he hits it. All right, number 15, Erling Haaland. This was a little bit lower than they had it on their list. But I think that it's just tough for him to do much without a team around him, and we don't know if Odegaard goes. If Odegaard doesn't go, then he's gonna have a tough time. You know, he's an absolute killer in the box and a finisher, like the best finisher in the world, I think. Maybe you could argue Harry Kane, but it's tough for him to create for himself. Most of the time, you know, he's occupying that center back. The winger, you know, beats his man, and then that's when Haaland kind of thrives off the service in the box, and it'll be tough for him without Odegaard. I think if Odegaard goes, definitely. Look at the strength there too. I mean, that guy's like 6'3", 190, 200 pounds. He just holds him off like he's a 4-year-old. He just has such a knack for finishing. Gets he's not even looking at the goal and he finishes that. You could argue maybe a little bit higher if Odegaard goes, but it's tough for Norway, I think. But they have good odds, so we'll see. I hope he does well. All right, 14, Virgil van Dijk. I think that they placed it pretty well. They had him 11 in their list. I think they placed that pretty well. Essential to the Netherlands style of play. Again, I mentioned they play this very physical and hard style of ball where they kind of go after guys and make sure, you know, they it's hard because sometimes they get in trouble, especially Dumfries, their right back, but you know, they're gonna need him to be winning stuff in the air, getting physical with the striker. And I think people are sleeping on Netherlands a bit, you know? They don't talk about Netherlands that much, but they always do well, right? You think about Argentina, I would say France and Netherlands were the teams they had the most trouble with. Netherlands tipped them to penalties, had a chance to win it. So I think he's up there. I think he's up there. Number 13, and I'm shocked they didn't talk about him, Michael Olise. There's these certain videos where you see Paul George specifically, who's an NBA player, and he's just got this way of moving that's so smooth. And I think that's the best way to describe Michael Olise. He's got some Erykah Badu in the background of these videos. He's just so smooth, and he's got this like little nonchalant bit where he just like he acts like nothing phases him, and I love it because he's just so cold. All right. And he cuts in on the left foot. There's not much you can do. And France need a right winger, so it'll be tough. Just slides, but he just glides. Look at that. 1, 2, 3. Ball in the box. Assist. So I think it was criminal that they included him. They included Doué. I think Olise impacts this France squad more. Yeah, and he's scary to play against. All right, number 12, Julian Alvarez. So they put Lautaro Martinez on this list, and I said that was crazy, and I stand by that because he's not going to start over Julian Alvarez. OGs know, right? David Villa for Spain in the 2010 World Cup. That is who Julian Alvarez reminds me of. Just craftiness, hunger, and the ability to finish, right? He's not like, you wouldn't expect him to be that quick, but he is. His ball striking technique, I think you could argue Valverde is kind of similar, but he torches teams if you let him shoot from outside the box. I mean, he's a striker. You don't see strikers taking free kicks normally, and I don't think he will for Argentina because they have Messi, but he takes free kicks for Atletico. He just had an insane free kick against Barcelona right here, right? What are you going to do about that? Ask yourself, what are you supposed to do about that? His technique is so good. It's so good. So there's no world in which Lautaro Martinez starts over him. But number 11, Thibaut Courtois, the only goalkeeper on this list. He's not fit right now, but he will play. So it's not like some of these other guys. If you don't watch him too much, if you don't watch Real Madrid too much, it's like having Spider-Man in goal. Look at this, Mo Salah, Champions League final, most important game of his life. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Half the goal's open, and he just gets his arm to that. 25 yards out. That is insane. That's going top corner, and Courtois just gets a hand to it. All right, number 10, Jude Bellingham. You could argue this is a little high, but he played for Real Madrid against Bayern, and he was incredible. He'll definitely play for England. There's a little bit of tension between him and Tuchel, the England manager. He's an insane athlete, and he's got the technique of some of the best technique in the world. This is Euro Final 2024. Three men around him, grown men, professionals at the top of their game. Goodbye. Embarrasses guys. Ooh. Ballon d'Or winner Rodri. Nope. Can play as kind of this false nine, running into the box, finish his chances. I think he's the second best player on the England squad, and I think that there's no chance he doesn't start. So, he's definitely up there for me. Now we're into the top 10. Let's go. Number 9, Lionel Messi. They put him at 1. I think that you could make the argument that culturally he'll be the most impactful, but then they'd include other players, so that's not entirely what they're basing it off of. I don't think he's 1 in terms of pure football impact. You could argue he's maybe a little bit higher, but he's just old, and the Argentina squad is not. Despite what people say, I don't think it's as strong as they used to be. Not only is it hard to repeat, but from a player's perspective, you don't have as much fire and as much hunger. You just really don't have as much fire. Everyone in that Argentina squad was fighting to the death for Lionel Messi. And I don't think that'll be the case to the same extent this year. But he's still Messi, right? I think they get, maybe semifinals, and he'll definitely be a factor, but we'll have to see, because he's not been playing the best competition in MLS, but he's definitely still class. But I think 9 is there for me. Number 8, Vitinha, another player they did not put on their list, but arguably the best midfielder in the world for PSG. You could see what people are saying about him. He's a little bit smaller, but he's completely and utterly press resistant, so it's almost impossible to win the ball off him. And he's got a little bit more passing range than some of the other midfielders in this World Cup. I was talking to my brother earlier. There's this kind of dying breed of player that can dictate the game, right? And can really change the way that the defenders as a unit are shaped. And Vitinha is one of those players, right? Look at the difference in the shape at the start of this, right? So they come out. You can't even see the attackers for PSG right now. He beats him, bypasses that midfield line, and all of a sudden it's a 3-on-3 to goal. So he's essential to the Portuguese team. I think they do well. He'll have who's next on the list next to him. So for me, anywhere below, outside the top 10 would be ridiculous for me. But moving on, number 7, Bruno Fernandes. This one might get hate too, because he complains. A lot of people don't like Bruno Fernandes. I personally like him because he's a little bit similar to Vitinha in the way that he can dictate the game. He's obviously farther up the pitch. These clips aren't doing him much justice, but the service in the box that he provides too, especially with Portugal. You think about the Portuguese team. You might have Ronaldo. You don't know how much he'll play, but he's good in the air. You have Gonzalo Ramos, good in the air. And you're going to need Bruno Fernandes to kind of be playing like that. just opens the game up, assist for Manchester United. That's the type of stuff that is going to drag Portugal. All right, but number 6, Vinicius Jr. If you hate on this pick, I don't think you should ever watch the game again. I mean, I talked about this in the first video, right? He's the last true, true Brazilian sambolero. Like, he dances with the ball. All right, there's 3 guys around him. He still has it. Picks out the top corner. Unreal. Oh, it's just embarrassing. Just watch this real quick. Okay. Ball's bouncing. Checks his shoulder. He sees a man behind him. Guy coming right here. Picks the ball up. What do you think he'll do here? If you've seen the clip, sure, you know what happens. In what world is the first thing that comes to your mind a rainbow flick? Makes them run into each other. Stands back up. Attempted murder on there, and he gets fouled. And I mean, he is so good. He's so good. And he's in good form right now. So if he plays well for Brazil and Rafinha can play and isn't hurt, you better watch out, because that Brazilian attack is just is almost undefendable. Number 5, Ousmane Dembele, one of the best in the world. Presses, which France will need, because you're not going to get much press off Mbappe. He can kind of drop in and play as this like free-flowing, fluid position that he likes. To be fair to Chris Broussard, in the last video, he did mention that he was playing this kind of weird right back position for France in the final. But now that he has the Ballon d'Or, there's no way he'll be doing that, right? He's got the respect of the manager, the respect of the team. Respect, honestly, but just a bit more worldwide respect. So people know him now. They know what he's about. They know what he can do. And he's not going to be playing that right back, no way. So he's definitely in there. You can argue he could be a little bit lower just because of his finishing, but if it's on, it's on. So number 4, Pedri. It was embarrassing how low they had him. You see the jersey I have on. And I have so much respect for the way he plays. And he has the ball on a string, and he's going to be very important to this Spain squad, who on the books, I'm not saying I gamble, but if you do, on the books, they've got the best odds to win it. You can't press him. He's like Vitinha, but he's got more of a team around him, and B, he's a little bit more kind of technical, I think, right? This should show you how freaking good he is. Watch what he does here. Picks the ball up scoops it up. Pretty normal touch. In the same step, taps it back down to get away from the guy on the left. It's in a different level. Yeah, so 4 or 3 is the only place he should ever be. And number 3 is Harry Kane. I think you could put Pedri over him. I have Kane over him just because the way that Kane's playing right now. He's I think he's front runner for Ballon d'Or, and he defines the World Cup. He defines the World Cup for England. Whether he's playing well or whether he's not, he defines it, right? World Cup 2022, missed the penalty for France, also scored in that game. I think that England especially will have a little bit of trouble building out through him, because he likes to drop in a lot. His work rate's incredible. He'll defend just as much as anyone. But he likes to drop in a lot into the midfield when they're building up. I mean, look at that touch. Holy fuck. Because I don't know if they have the most creative players in their midfield. Jude Bellingham, I think, can kind of play off of it, but other than that, not really. We'll have a little bit of trouble when he kind of drops in like that. And they generally do. That's always a complaint of England. I mean, Kane's along with Haaland, the best finisher in the world. I think he'll be locked in on these penalties too, because he doesn't want to do what he did against France. And he can finish in any different fashion. Good in the air, good with his left, good with his right. Number 1 and 2, is reversed in their list. I wouldn't hate. I mean, look, number 2 is Lamine Yamal. So if you watched Barcelona in 2020 or 2014, 2015, you'll recognize what he looks like. I said Doué was the closest thing to Neymar that we have from this new generation. I agree with that, but Lamine Yamal's, he's up there in terms of that Neymar-esque play. Doué comes in off the left side, which is what Neymar did, so I would say that's a little bit more. I also think Lamine's a little bit more, his finishing is better than Neymar's. I think that, might be crazy to say because Neymar's one of the best to ever do it, but I think Lamine Yamal with that left foot, cutting in, curling it far post, I wouldn't be surprised if he turns out better than Neymar. But he's got that, they call it Jenga, like that joy, the heart, the dance that they play with. And he'll have his say for Spain. He's one of these guys. If he can change the game with a snap, like in 2 seconds, he can change it. And he's unplayable 1v1. The only person I've ever seen defend him well, Nuno Mendes. So, and he plays well for Spain. Spain with the best odds. I think him and Pedri kind of take them far. I could see them going to the final. I have yet to look at like the group structure and kind of see who's going to be playing who in the knockout round, but hopefully we'll do that after in this next video. But number 1, look, there cannot be an argument for Lamine Yamal. There's no argument that they're in the top 2. I think Mbappe, right? Like Lamine in the way that you can't defend him, and if he wants to, he'll score 3. If it's his day, you just kind of sit back and pray at this point. This is what I was talking about with Haaland. Like, you're never going to get this with Haaland, right? He's essentially at the half line. There's 3 guys that can defend him. Beats one with the first touch. He's just too quick for him. Kind of cuts in. You're gone. You're out of the play. I'm going to slap it far post. Good night. Picks it up. Wins it off of Lamine Yamal, by the way. This is a defender's worst nightmare. The best player in the world, the fastest player in the world, running at you 1v1. You're not going to do anything. Like, you just can't. Okay, so what you don't see here is that the entire time he's doing this, he doesn't look once at the goal. Nope, not looking, not looking, not looking, not looking, not looking, not looking. Takes it out of the air, falling down, puts it in the corner on the volley. There's a documentary about the World Cup. He had guys on the Argentina bench praying to God that he wouldn't score another. I mean, and he always shows out. He's the best player in the World Cup. I think they said, is he the best ever if he wins the World Cup? No, he's not. But if he wins it and he plays well, he's the best World Cup player, certainly, ever. I want him to get a Ballon d'Or. I think a performance in the World Cup and a France win would win him the Ballon d'Or. I don't see him anywhere else but one. But I appreciate you tuning in. We're going to start breaking down these groups soon. Going to start talking about who's going to do what, how far I think they're going to go. But yeah, just stay tuned. Thank you.